Hey guys, in today's video I got my friend Josh here, and he's only been in the Philippines 2 months, and we're going to talk to him a little bit about what his experience has been so far and what brought him to the Philippines. Stick around. All right, so Josh, thanks for coming on and doing the video.
Oh, no problem.
Not like he had a lot of choice. He's my neighbor. I forced him into it. No, but Josh and I actually met. Well, I guess you watched my channel first,
right?
And then
during the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah, and we talked a few times. I think through email, I believe,
right.
And then I believe once you got to Dumaguete, you reached out to me, and we hung out as you and your girlfriend, and me and my girlfriend. We went to some waterfalls, and then through that we became friends. We hung out a few more times, and then we discovered this place, and Josh moved in here, and I'm there, and Phil's there, and another viewer of mine is down at the end, and then there's another guy renting an Airbnb who watches my channel, or watched it a few times, but he was kind of independent from it. But yeah, so we're all here at the same place, and still anxiously awaiting our pool to be finished here.
Soon,
yeah. So you've been here 2 months. We'll get to that in a second, but let's go further back. Why the Philippines? I mean, how did you come across the Philippines, and why did you want to come to the Philippines?
I actually had some Filipina friends.
Okay.
And I seen how they treated their husbands, and
Okay.
just their culture and stuff really inspired me here. It's completely different than the American culture. Very, loving, caring. It just seems like a better culture to me. The culture is what got me.
They're still very feminine.
Right.
They like to take care of their guy. And they were living in the U.S. though.
Correct. Yeah, they had been married and came over.
Okay.
And, yeah.
So, was your plan at any point to come here and meet a nice girl and then bring her back to the U.S.?
At first, that was my plan.
That was your plan.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And why did you change your mind? At what point did you say, "Well, I want to live over here"?
When I got here.
When
the
you got
second
here,
I got
okay.
here and I seen the culture and the beauty of the place. I mean, people think of the Philippines as, maybe a third world country, but you get here and it's amazing. You wouldn't know why anybody would want to leave.
Right.
So
and I don't really, after living here, I don't really view it as a third world country.
I don't either after being here.
I mean, it's
just the beauty of it to me.
Beauty,
I mean, just the things you can see that you'll never see in America.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of great nature, and I know that's kind of why we have become pretty good friends. Is we're both into like hiking and waterfalls and nature. So
definitely.
So how many times did you visit here before you've moved here this time?
I've been here once before.
Once before.
I came in February for about 15 days.
And that was in Davao.
Correct, yeah, Davao.
So
yes.
Davao.
And then I came here to Davao again in May, I believe it was, late April. And I stayed a month, and I went home for just about a week, and then came back permanently.
Okay. So your first visit, your first 2 weeks in Davao, that's when you decided, I want to live
Correct,
here.
yes. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
And at that point, were you just thinking Davao, or where were you thinking?
At first, I was wanting to be in the Philippines, but not necessarily Davao.
Okay.
Davao, the big city, I didn't really care much for that. I know
Too spread out.
Too spread out, and it didn't seem like there's a whole lot to do within the city of Davao except your major touristy things.
Yeah.
Nature wasn't really there.
That's true. Davao, you kind of have to have transportation, and everything's kind of a little ways
Everything
out.
was taxis. Taxi here, taxi there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so you come back a second time, you're in Davao, and how did you get to Dumaguete? Why Dumaguete?
Well, there's two reasons. First of all, there was foreigners here, and that seemed like a bad reason, but sometimes you feel comfortable around other foreigners too.
Yeah.
People that can speak your language, more fluently.
Sure.
And then the other reason was because I watched your channel, and I'd seen some of the things that you had done around here, and it seemed more like the centrally located place to do traveling, which is what I really want to do here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so how long were you here before you said, I think I'm going to stay here in Dumaguete?
Probably within the first week of being here.
Okay.
Probably shortly after we hung out and I'd seen kind of the nature that's here.
Yeah.
And noticing that Davao, everything's an airplane ride. If you want to
Right.
go to anywhere, you have to fly, basically.
Right.
Here,
Or-
you take a ferry 30 minutes and you're at a new destination.
Exactly. That's
So-
the appealing thing is it's very central. And since you've been here, you've already been to Sikior and
Right.
and
right.
then
And all over this area.
all over this area and
Right.
South Cebu soon. We're gonna
Soon.
take.
soon.
Okay, so you've been here 2 months.
Right.
You entered into a year lease here, and you're liking it here.
I love it, yeah.
Do you ever see yourself going back to the U.S. as far as
Maybe just to visit for
Visit.
a week or two here and there. I don't see myself ever living back in the U.S. I'm very happy in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Your money goes a lot further here.
Right.
And just the friendliness of the people. You can walk down the road and people say hi to you. It's just a different atmosphere.
Yeah. Like I was in South Cebu yesterday. We're going up into the mountains, and all the kids were coming out to the side of the road, and they wanted to give you a high five as you were driving by. So I was giving them a high five. That's pretty cool.
Definitely different here.
Yeah. And how about? Do you think this is the destination that you plan on staying?
Oh, I
at?
do. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And main reason, just the nature, central in location.
Both of those things are the major
Right.
factor. And I am also kind of a fan of being around other foreigners too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be isolated to be the only foreigner.
Right.
I kind of like the camaraderie of being around friends.
Sure.
So
And it's because all the foreigners here, you do get a lot of good restaurants.
Right.
You get small little grocery stores like Belcris where they have.
American style food.
Yeah. What was it you found? You found
Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets. Came all the way to the Philippines to buy Hot Pockets.
That's right.
And
Popcorn.
yeah, popcorn. There you go. All right. So what's next on your list as far as places to go visit?
Well, definitely South Cebu
South
for
Cebu,
sure.
yeah.
And I do want to get out to Bohol
Mhm.
and even going back to Mindanao. I want to go to that Seven Seas water park that they
Oh,
have
yeah.
there. It's on my top list. If you got to do Oria,
Yeah.
I definitely want to get over that way too.
And they got whitewater rafting there too, which you
Really?
kinda
I
do.
got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as your first 2 months, what would you tell anybody coming out here? You make any mistakes that you would?
I
say,
overpacked coming here. I
Overpacked,
brought
okay.
way too much stuff. I brought for example, 4 pairs of jeans. I don't even
Okay.
know if I've ever even wore them.
So if you did it again, would you get rid of the jeans altogether?
I got rid of the jeans altogether.
Altogether.
Maybe bring 1 pair,
Right.
but I don't even know when I would use them.
Shorts rule.
Yeah, shorts and flip flops. That's it.
Yeah. What else did? Have you tried to buy clothes here?
I haven't tried that yet. I
Okay.
definitely overpacked.
Okay. What else? Just clothes is the main thing.
And yeah, clothes. Clothes.
Clothes.
That would be my biggest thing that I would change.
Anything that you wish you had brought more of, or that you would have brought?
Not really.
No.
Not that I can think of.
I mean, really, you come out here and I know when I moved out here, I was so worried. Oh, what if they don't have this? What if they don't have that? I should bring this.
What I found is everything that I could need is here.
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
much. I mean, you got a headache, there's Tylenol. There's stuff here. I
Right.
mean, you don't need to overload on a bunch of stuff.
No.
I mean,
And that was my mistake too. I overdid on clothes, and I was like, oh, I didn't need all these jeans. I didn't need a pair of dress shoes. I don't know why I brought a pair of dress shoes.
right.
It's like one of the first things I offloaded.
And if you're going to move here, I'd probably save a few months worth of funds up before you come. Make sure you're
Yeah.
kind of financially stable before you come.
Well, like moving into this apartment, this was a semi-furnished apartment,
Right.
and you went from Airbnb, and
Right.
all of a sudden you had to buy this couch, the TV, refrigerator, microwave, all this stuff.
Bedding. I mean,
Bedding.
all your kitchen utensils. So, yeah.
So, if you had to tell somebody how much, and this is a higher end apartment for the Philippines,
Right.
how much would you tell somebody to save up for to help pay with deposit, first month rent, all your stuff? What would you tell? What's a comfortable number you wish you would have had when you came out here?
Every bit of probably 350 to 400,000 pesos
Okay,
to get
so-
settled in. I mean, because
Okay.
like this place, for instance, was basically 100K to get into,
Right.
and then you spend at least 150K on furnishings,
Sure.
and you still have to make it that month. So I would say 300 to 350K. So it's a good.
So 300 to 350,000 pesos, which would be 6 or 7,000 US.
You could definitely do it cheaper. I mean, you don't
could do it
have
cheaper,
you don't have to
but
get
yeah.
into a place like this. You could
Yeah,
there's
you can get less
definitely
expensive,
other
and a
places.
lot of places only require 1 month deposit,
Correct,
and this
right.
one required 2. And
depends on what kind of lifestyle you want to live.
you could do like Phil was doing, who doesn't even have any furniture yet, right? He's
Right,
just
right.
one piece at a time. But like you, I wanted a sofa, I wanted a
Right.
coffee table, a TV, I wanted all that.
You know the home furnishings.
Immediately, yeah.
And you could always do Airbnb. I mean, if you wanted to, it's a little bit more
Yeah.
expensive, but you don't have to pay for anything.
There's no
except
deposits, there's no electric, there's no
nothing. You
furnishings.
just move in. So.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a lot of reasonably priced Airbnbs too. So.
Yeah. Now you stayed at an Airbnb. I always tell people when you first get out here, book a hotel for maybe 3 nights.
Mhm.
Go look at the Airbnb that you're going to stay at. For
I wish
a
I'd
month.
have took that advice.
And why was that?
Because the Airbnb that I had stayed in it looked really nice in pictures, and when I
Mm-hmm.
stayed there, it was kind of overran with ants. There was
Okay.
big ant problems. There was dogs all over the place.
Okay.
It just had one AC unit, one window unit upstairs, so the whole downstairs was just
It was hot.
miserably
Miserable.
hot.
Okay.
So things that weren't listed in the Airbnb, I wish I'd have took the advice and went and looked at it first.
Yeah, and I made those mistakes too. That's why I give the advice now, is because I made those mistakes. But yeah, I say come out here, book a hotel for 3 days. There's a link in the description to book a hotel. And then from there, look online to see what Airbnb is available, and just message and say, hey, I'd like to look at the place, and then book it. Make sure it's, yeah, because I've been to some places that I was like, oh my God, there's no way I'm staying here a whole month, and I just paid for a whole
And
month.
that's how mine was. I was going to get
Yeah.
out of there regardless. So
I think you even left early.
I did
right?
leave early. Yeah, I paid for the entire month, and I actually left a few days early.
A few days early, yeah.
Yeah.
And actually, Phil, our neighbor who's not here now, but he had left 2 weeks early.
Really?
Yeah, he had paid all the way through the 12th,
Wow. I
and then he
wasn't aware of
left
that.
2 weeks early. So yeah. Anyway, so anything else that you feel like you made a mistake, or you wish you would have done, or wish you didn't do, or that's
Oh.
basically it.
No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it.
Overpacking.
I would say I wish I'd have kind of came here first instead of Davao. I feel like I wasted
Right.
a good month in Davao.
Sure. But some people like
Some people
Davao.
like Davao. Some
So,
people like
yeah,
Davao.
yeah.
I mean, it wasn't my cup of tea. It wasn't
Right.
where I felt comfortable. So.
Okay. Well, good. All right. So I guess we'll kind of wrap it up. But lesson learned, just a couple things. But all in all, I know when I first met you, I think we stopped at a gas station, and Josh was
Yes.
handing the gas attendants 100 peso tips. So tipping is something you have to
Right.
kind of get.
That was something I have to get used to,
Yeah.
even going out to eat. In America, you're used to 10% tipping and stuff like that, being
Right.
generous. And here you think of 100 pesos as, $2.
Right.
It's like, well, that's cheap,
You,
But
you
to
al-
them, that's a huge, they almost look at you like you're crazy for tipping.
Right. Right.
So,
You have to kind of not think in dollars. You got to think in pesos, and then you got to think in relative terms of how much do they make on a daily
Right.
basis. This person may only make 400 pesos per day, and you're giving them a 100 peso tip to
Right.
put gas in your motorbike.
and it definitely something I was not familiar
Right.
with. I wasn't familiar with the customs as
And-
far as that goes.
And if you have a good Filipina, they usually will steer you in the right
Right.
direction, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah, what are you doing?
yeah, exactly. Give that to me.
Yeah, right. Right.
All right. Anyway, appreciate it, Josh. Thanks for coming on the channel, and I'm sure you guys will see Josh and some of my other adventures coming up. See you.